Hello, year 8. Welcome back to your fourth lesson on the Haitian Revolution. So before we write down the title and today's date, why don't you just have a look at this section of a painting? Um, have a look at it closely. Very interesting scene that I've cut away for you here. I want you just to write down what you think is going on in this painting. So study it and then answer what you think is going on in this painting. As usual, pause, and then when you're ready to resume, press play. All right, and then just think about these questions. Where do you think this is? Okay, you've got a good idea, but where exactly on Saint-Domingue? So it's not going to be in the middle of a plantation, is it? Because of what's going on there. Where is it? What do you think this woman in the center is doing? She seems to be holding a bowl. She's got a sharp metal implement in her right hand. So what exactly is she doing? Next one, what's going on here? You can see there's an animal being held down by this man here, and they have a bowl just beneath its neck. And then, what is she holding there? I've given you a big clue. Just answer those questions. You can write them in short form. And then, in a slightly more detailed response, I want you to answer that question. What do you think is happening in the rest of the image? Okay, so this is a bit more of the image. Okay, you can see people gathered, almost they formed a semicircle or a circle perhaps because we can't see the rest of the image. We see another character here with the sort of red bit of cotton draped around his neck, bandana, satchel, and we see machetes, people wielding machetes and other weapons. So what are they doing? What is their purpose for this gathering? So just pause and answer that question. And here we see the whole painting in its full glory. I think now we know where exactly they are. They're not on a plantation. We can see by the flora, the trees and such, that they are out in the forest. This seems to be almost like a secret gathering, but they're very animated. We see people here with farm tools like sickles, machetes, which are important for cutting the sugarcane. And then we see here these four people in the center who are involved in some sort of spiritual exercise. This is a painting, it's more of a modern painting, but it depicts, it's based on what people who attended this ceremony in 1791 described it to be like. It was called the Boy Caiman, Bois Kaman ceremony. It took place on August 21st, 1799. And as you saw from the description for today's lesson, it was the spark that set the revolution in motion. Now, this man here is a key figure for today's lesson. His name was Dutty Boukman, D-U-T-T-Y, Boukman, you can see there. And he was a person who gave the special speech at the beginning of this Boy Kaman ceremony, or Bois Kaman ceremony. He was a voodoo priest, and that's a key word for today's lesson. I want you to write down. Voodoo, you might have heard some things about it, but it's a syncretic religion, S-Y-N-C-R-E-T-I-C. Now, syncretic in this instance means it's a religion made up of lots of other religions, sort of ancient beliefs, ancestor worship, things like that. So it's like a combined religion. It's a very flexible one, and that's what many of the enslaved people in Saint-Domingue believed, because they came from many parts of Africa, and so they had this religion which combined all the different elements that they were used to, and it acted as a unifying force. It brought them together, and it's certainly what brought them here in 1791. There was going to be a voodoo ceremony, and that's what they're taking part in. You see the voodoo priest there, Dutty Boukman, leading it, and this is almost the prayer that he gave up to their ancestors, and he said, "Our God who has ears to hear, you who are hidden in the clouds, who watch us from where you are, you see all that the white has made us suffer. The white man's God asks him to commit crimes, but the God within us wants to do good. Our God, who is so good, so just, he orders us to revenge their wrongs. It is he who will direct our arms and bring us victory. It is he who will assist us We all should throw away the image of the white man's God, who is so pitiless. Listen to the voice for liberty that speaks in all our hearts. You can see here outside that Parliament building that we saw in the very first lesson, there is a statue of Dutty Boukman. He really set the revolution in motion. Even before Toussaint joined, he brought the people together and he gave them a command that they would find liberty one way or another. What I need you to do is open up the video file in our Teams page now. You're going to learn a little bit more. It's this one here, lesson 4, Boy Kaman ceremony. Have a watch through of that and answer that question: why was voodoo, this religion, so important to the slaves' early success? So pause, watch the video. It's about 5 minutes long, and then resume. Now, what I want you to do after that is I'd like you to open up this file here, Factors in Slave Success. We're going to go through 9 different reasons why the slaves were successful in the first instance in 1791. Now, you saw in the video, after this Boy Kaman ceremony, they went down to the plantations and they set fire to everything. They killed anyone they saw. This was extreme violence being used by the slaves, and some people will argue that the only way they could get what they wanted, which was, as Dutty Boukman said here, liberty, was through violence. That was the only way that they could escape the bondage that they've been held under for so long. But anyway, go through these 9 different factors here, and then I want you to put them into what we call a diamond 9. I'll show you what diamond 9 looks like. Just go into there, diamond 9. So this is a diamond 9, sort of, it's a very simple sort of thing. You've got 9 factors. You put the most important one at the top, next to below it, following 3 important ones below that, lesser important 2 beneath those, and then finally the least important reason why the slave revolt was possible at the bottom. Okay, when you've done that, you are ready to move on to the extended writing piece. Now, these are just sentence starters to help you, but I want you to consider at least 2 or 3 factors why the slave revolt 1791 was successful. Use some of your own knowledge, draw on other ideas that you have, and this really should take up the best part of a page or so. Okay. If you have any questions, please at me in the history post, and when you're done, upload your work through the assignment tab as you have been the last few weeks. Good luck.